Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be here on behalf of Commissioner Andor. You know that the Roma issues are very close to his heart, and he has asked me to convey to you his best wishes for success of this event. The Roma inclusion has been very high on the European policy agenda for some years, but particularly in 2011, we have seen all the European institutions mobilize around the issue of Roma. We had the resolution to which you referred. We had conclusions from the European Council, from ESCO and the European Council. But still, the situation has not changed very much on the ground. We still see Roma suffering from poor education, poor qualifications, poor employment records, discrimination, racism. I think I don't need to say all that. Now, who does what? You've raised the question, where do the different competencies lie? I think everybody accepts that designing and implementing policies and actions to combat the economic and social exclusion of Roma is a responsibility of the member states. It is their responsibility to modernize their labor market systems and to modernize their social policy systems. At the same time, however, the EU has a very important role to play. The EU guides, supports, coordinates, supplements and adds value to the actions of member states by acting as a catalyst to promote and facilitate change, by providing funding and by empowering the social partners, civil society organizations and other stakeholders who have a role in the delivery system. And the framework for national Roma strategies has underlined this importance of the added value of coordinated EU-level actions. Member states know the policies, they have the funding, and it's up to them to find the right mix between policies and funding which will help their own societies. If I may, within the short time that I have, I would like to, the two questions which were put to the panel was first, are the Roma benefiting from the EU funds, and what has been achieved? I think here I will try to be very short. I think you all know that there is a lot of funding around the ERDF, the ESF and the Cohesion Fund have a budget of 350 billion euros. And it's, as a task force, Roma task force has revealed in its findings, there are still several bottlenecks which prevent the adequate use of the fund. I think I don't need to go through these bottlenecks, you know them. And the framework also made some very good suggestions to member states how to speed up the use of money and even to ask for technical assistance or to entrust the parts of their operational programs to organizations which have a proven track of record in Roma integration. I think what I would like to say here today is to draw your attention to some novel requirements which the new cohesion package, which was adopted in October by the Commission, has brought about, and which, in my view, will help very much the successful promotion of Roma integration. And I will mention four things very briefly. The Commission proposes to channel a large share of the EU funds into areas which are related to Europe 2020, its objectives and headline targets. And as responsible for the ESF, I'm very happy to tell you that this fund supports 3 of these headline targets, and this is exactly why the Commission has proposed to increase the budget of the fund by at least 7.5%, which will bring its budget to 84 billion euros. We want to put the money where it will make a difference, and Roma integration is one of the areas where we can make a difference. It's very true that member states, especially those which have large populations, cannot reach their targets unless in the areas of employment, education and social inclusion, unless they do something to improve the situation of Roma in their countries. Second, the Commission proposes to reinforce the social dimension of the ESF. So the new regulation now has an express provision which says all member states have to use at least 20% of their ESF allocation to social exclusion. And in addition, the new regulation has established an explicit investment priority focusing on the integration of marginalized communities such as Roma. Third, the Commission proposals contains a number of elements which aim at increasing the effectiveness of the cohesion policy. We are proposing to introduce a comprehensive system of so-called conditionalities, and here we aim to make sure that member states will have in place the right framework conditions which are essential to achieve better results in a given policy area. And this will have a good implication for Roma because it will be necessary to have in place an appropriate national strategy for Roma inclusion before any funds can be channeled to promoting Roma integration. We are convinced that the national Roma strategy can only be credible if it sets out the necessary sources of funding, and funding can only be effective if it supports a comprehensive strategy. And fourth, I would like to say that the member states will be required to state explicitly now in their programming documents how they want to help those most in need. They will have to put forward a coherent multidimensional strategy to address the specific needs of the most vulnerable groups in their society and to allocate funding from the various EU funds of such actions. There are more things in this regulation, but I can come maybe back to them in the questions. I don't want to trespass on the time that was given to me, so I will stop here. I will only say that I think that these proposals we have made are quite important, very useful, and I do hope that we will have the support both of the Council and the Parliament. And I look forward to hearing your views. Thank you very much, and I'll stop here.